Hey everybody, Kimberly Olson here for this week's episode of the Goal Digger Podcast. And I'm so excited to connect with you and start the week off strong. And I'm excited because we're going to talk about money. I hope you want to talk about money because I do. I mean, seriously, money is one of the most important things ever. It's something that people are always thinking about. It can cause a lot of stress. It can cause a lot of problems, but it can also give you a lot of freedom to be able to live comfortably and give abundantly. So I'm going to share with you guys how I just paid cash for a trip that is $3,000, and it'll probably end up being 4 or 5, when probably closer to 5 or 6, all said and done. And I'm going to share with you guys about that. So we're going to jump into the podcast. So if you guys are watching the live stream on this, okay, so this is what's going to happen. I'm on Instagram right now. Go ahead and put 1 in the comments if you're watching this live, and put 2 if you're watching the replay. I'm going to premiere live stream this on my business page probably later today on the Goal Digger Girl. So if you're watching it there, you can still put 1 if you're watching it live because it'll appear to be a live stream, okay? And if I reference anything for tomorrow, just make sure you check the dates on it. But I'll probably do a premiere live stream of this on my business page, which is a really cool feature they have. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to get my personal branding workshop this week because we are going to go all over business pages, and I'm going to show you how to crush it in your business by utilizing Facebook business pages because it's huge for building a personal brand. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the podcast. Thanks for coming along, you guys. Welcome everyone to the Goal Digger Girls podcast, where we talk about crushing your goals and creating the life of your dreams. I'm Kimberly Olson, your host, and this week we are going to talk about how I paid cash $3,000 for a trip coming up in a couple months. And I think it's important to talk about this because if you're like most people, we put our trips on credit cards. I remember the very first I was 18 years old. I was a freshman in college, and I remember getting my first credit card. And I got it in the mail, and I had paid for all my college myself and got some scholarships, but most of it I had to work, obviously, like a lot of people do, and had to pay for it, which is what it is. And I remember I got that first credit card, and I was like, wow, this is so amazing. Like, I got approved. I was 18 years old, right? I thought I was so awesome. And so my friends wanted to go to, where's Niagara Falls? I was like, what's that freaking place called? Hello, Niagara Falls. Hashtag mom brain. And who's been in Niagara Falls? Put that in the comments. If you're on the podcast, you can't put it on the comments. I'm live streaming on Instagram as well. Forgot to tell you guys that. So I'm on Instagram right now. Put a comment if you've been to Niagara Falls. So all these people, all my girlfriends and some our guy friends, we all wanted to go to Niagara Falls. Well, I was like, of course I can go. I'll just put it on my credit card, right? Well, I was 18 years old, and I'm now 38 years old, and it took it's been 20 years of putting trips on credit cards, right? So since then, I've been all over the world. I've been to Italy 3 times. I've been to 10 different countries in Europe, including Italy. I've been to down in the Caribbean probably a dozen times. I've been on several cruises. I've been to Aruba. And of all of this, you guys, you're 2 hours away, Brittany, that's so cool. Out of all of that, you guys, all of it was put on a credit card. So put a 3 in the comments if you can identify. If you're like, oh yeah. And this is the tricky part. You go on the trip and you spend the money and you put it on the credit card and you're having a great time. And it's kind of this laissez-faire, right? It's a catch-22 because you want to relax and you want to have fun and spend the money and do the excursions, right? Because you need that. You need vacations. It's been proven. Like, even if you work a lot, you need to recharge. And you want to just let go, right? You just need to get away. And then what do? We put it all on a credit card, right? Charge it to the room. And then you get home and there's this whopping freaking credit card bill. Even if you already paid for the resort or wherever you're going, you put it on a credit card probably, and then are paying on it. And then you finally maybe get it paid off depending on how far in advance you book it out. Or even honeymoons. Think about honeymoons, right? And then you go on the trip and spend, another $1,000, $2,000 or more, or whatever it is. And you get home from your trip and you have this bill. So by just paying $3,000, just boom, swiping my debit card, I thought it would be helpful to share with you guys how I was able to do that because it felt really awesome. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it because I just shared with you. I have 20 years under my belt of putting freaking trips on credit cards. Let's stop the madness, okay? So what shifted for us is a couple things. One is our mindset changed. And I say we because if you are married, I do believe you have to all be on board, okay? If not, it can just be you, or you can also teach your kids this kind of stuff. And we decided together, and you have to get it both on board because otherwise you're going to kind of self-sabotage each other's efforts. And we decided that we were not going to go on any trips until we had paid off all of our debts, so credit cards, medical bills. I also had we had two brand new vehicles that we'd purchased, so not smart. And what else did I have? There was something else that was kind of a lot. So we had some credit cards and stuff like that to pay off. So it was about $80,000. I know, it's a lot of money. So we said, okay, we're gonna pay this off and then we're gonna go on vacation. So for our 6-year anniversary, we did a staycation. Our friends watched our kids, so it didn't cost us much there, and we just had the house to ourselves for 3 days. So we've done different things to be able to still connect. You know, we have little date nights here, but we just said that we were not going to go and do the things. We weren't going to go. And it's hard because our friends, every time we talk to our friends, it's like they just got back from a trip, right? So there's that, not even compare-itis. You're just like, you want to get away so bad, and I get it, okay? Or a common thing is I'll see people take their kids to Disneyland because they're like, there's just something about it, like you feel like you're a good parent if you take your kids to Disneyland and you put it on a credit card. It's similar, okay? So what I'm going to challenge you is to maybe look at something like Dave Ramsey's programs. That's what we follow. It's called the Total Money Makeover. I will put a link in the show notes, and I'll give you guys the program, Total Money Makeover. I'll give you guys the link to it if I can find it. No, I will find it. I'll give you guys the link to it. I read that book, Total Money Makeover, and we implemented those principles. And you do have to open up your eyes. You can't stick your head in the sand and be like, oh, I don't know how much money we have. You need to know literally how much money is coming in. It's weird, but you don't really realize it until you actually write it all down or put it in Excel, how much money goes out. I mean, all those little things add up. Even if it's small things of grabbing coffees here and there, or pedicures, or lunch with the girls, or date night. I mean, all that stuff adds up. All the kids' activities. So just being really clear on it is really, really important. So be honest. Take your head out of the sand and figure it out, and decide you're not going to go and do anything until you can pay cash for it. Okay. So that was the first thing we did. The second thing we did is decided that I was going to figure out how to make more money and bring more money in. I am the more I have ideas and want to be an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. I'd always worked for somebody else, but now I work for myself completely 110%. So I knew in order for us to get ahead and be able to cash flow this vacation and other things, that I was going to have to make more than what we were earning. So what I did is I figured out exactly how much we were spending. And it's really cool because I was able to see the whole year to date. So I know ebbs and flows, right? Christmas is higher and all that kind of stuff. So I figured out our year-to-date averages, and then I sat down and I said, okay, this is what we're making. This is what we're bringing in. And I said, okay, in order for us to be able to spend money on a vacation, to be able to give a bunch of money away. I mean, last month was the most I'd ever donated. We as a family have ever been able to donate. In order to do all that, I had to know what our bottom line number was, right? So I worked backwards. So I figured out our bottom line number and said, okay, great. This is how much we have to bring in. And then in order for us to do extra things like the vacation, we have to make this much more. So how do you do that? With a side hustle. So I do direct sales. I'm a brand influencer for a hair care company. There's many different things you can do. There's a lot of people do coaching. You can become an affiliate marketer. You could sell jewelry on Etsy or t-shirts. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do. You can get a side job if you want to. I know people who have used Uber or Instacart to build up a nice side hustle. So if you're like, I don't want to do what you do, Kimberly. If you do, by the way, message me and we'll talk about that. But you guys get my point. You have to have a side hustle. You have to have a way to make more money. Otherwise, you need to ask for a raise or get a different job. So you have some different choices. And I know what it feels like to be stuck in a job, because I felt like that for 2 years where I was like, I can't quit this job. I have to have this job. Like, we need this money to pay the mortgage, right? But once I started relaxing a little bit and trusting God and the universe and myself and my abilities, it's weird, but all these opportunities opened up, and suddenly I became more abundant. Now, I did a lot of mindset work, and that helped me to be open to receiving and become a money magnet. But I had to get my mind there to start, right? I had to become more open. So I'll just challenge you to read some good books on money. You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. We are just finishing that up in my Gold Digger Mastermind right now. Also, Get Rich, Lucky Bitch from Denise DT. Her book is one of the best books I've read that helped me to really think differently about money. Honestly, that's probably one of the best ones ever. So if you really have some money blocks, that would be a really good one to work through. And so work through the money blocks, get a side hustle, make more money, and be disciplined enough to say, we're only going to do these things when we can afford to do those things, okay? Because really, if you go on a vacation and you put on a credit card, like, it's not really your vacation. It's like Visa's vacation or Wells Fargo or whoever you have your credit card through, right? So it feels I can't even describe to you, and I'm saying this with excitement because I want this for you, what it felt like to literally pick and choose. We're like, where do we want to go? And us, it was more, we knew somebody's gonna have to watch our kids, so we didn't want to be flying, over to Europe. That would take, what, 2-3 days of travel. That's too much travel for the short period of time we can be away from them. So we want to do a beach trip down south really quick, okay? It was awesome to just go on there and look at the resorts, look at the rating, look at the restaurants. I didn't have to sit there and go, okay, well, how much is this, right? I mean, who wants to do that? That's not fun. I mean, if you're a budget queen and you love doing that, that's cool, rock your bad self. But I mean, really, like if you want to go on a trip, go on the trip that you want to go on and pay cash for it. That's what I'm all about. So Total Money Makeover, I'm going to give you guys the link for that, okay? And then also think of something coming up. Maybe you can make a goal for yourself. Maybe Christmas would be a good one to pay cash, to cash flow it. So think, okay, I want $500 for Christmas gifts, my kids, my other people, whoever. Then you've got 2 months, depending on when you're listening to this podcast. You've got 2 months, you guys. Set your goal for yourself and say, okay, that means I need to make, well, you want it before December. So I need to make, say, $300, $400 extra in November than my bills, and I can put that money aside. So you guys see the difference? It gives you power, and it's intentional. You're thinking about things versus the reactive, oh crap, it's the end of the month and I don't have any money. Like, who wants to live like that? Do you guys see how happy I am? It's because I don't have to live on credit cards. We don't use credit cards at all. Like, it's the best feeling ever. Coming from a credit card girl. Freaking amazing. Well, let me just tell you, okay? Now, for those that are supporters of the podcast, you guys freaking rock. I'm almost at 16,000 downloads because of you. So I'm going to ask you to share this, share the podcast. There's a little share button if you're on the iTunes version. It's all over the place. It's on Spotify. There's like 12 different platforms or something that the Goal Digger Girl podcast is on. Share it, but also write a review. If you write a review, message me and I'm going to give you a gift, okay? So in order to get the gift, you can email me if you have my email address. You can also message me through my business page, The Goal Digger Girl on Facebook. If you look that up, you'll find it. The link is also in my bio on my personal page on Facebook. It's easy to find. Now, coming up this week, I have a personal branding workshop. So if you've been thinking, like, I want to brand myself, or maybe you are in direct sales and you rep a company, I'm going to teach you how to rep yourself. I'm going to teach you how to brand yourself, not your company. That way you can go any direction that you want to go with it. You can monetize your mission. I'm going to teach you about freebies. I'm going to teach you how to come up with ways to attract people to you where they're raising their hand saying, yes, me, yes, me. Okay, that's what you want. That is the goal, okay? So I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that in the personal branding workshop. We're going to focus on Facebook business pages and ManyChat. Basically, I'm going to show you how to automate your messages on Facebook. That way you have a way to communicate with your leads list in a really professional, concise, efficient way, but also to make sure that they're getting the content from you and they're wanting more. It's all about adding value. When you add value, people will want to know more from you, and obviously eventually they're going to buy from you or join your team or whatever that looks like, okay? So that's coming up this week. Also, my mastermind is still open. It's going to close on Wednesday, so if you're listening to the replay, it's closing October 31st, so if it's past that. Every month it's going to open up for a few days before the end of the month for the following month. Say that 10 times fast. So if you're not my mastermind, you can just message me on my business page at the Goal Digger Girl on Facebook and say mastermind. It's not on my website. You have to get the application first. So just message me for that and I'll help you guys out with that as well. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. And for those listening in, again, thank you for helping me get to that 15,000, 16,000 download mark, which is incredible. It's so, so neat to be able to serve you guys in a different way. So until next time, go out there and crush your goals and create the life of your dreams. All right, and that's a wrap. So thank you guys for coming along for the ride. Oh, Brittany, you are so welcome. My goal, honestly, if you guys don't know this about me, I found it so, I was so confused when I first got online. And I was so intimidated because everybody seemed so fancy and they just knew what they were doing on social media and marketing. And I'm just like, I don't know any of this. Like, I'm clueless. I barely have a Facebook account. So my goal is to learn it and turn around and teach it to you guys because it works, okay? So that's my goal. So if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. I'm not great at checking my Instagram messages, but I'm getting better. Facebook business page is the very best way to get a hold of me because I see those every day. Let me know what you need. Let me know what questions you have. I would be happy to help you out and get better at your business, okay? So thanks for coming along today on the podcast, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.